Hi, my name is Judge. Holy crap, there is a lot of new stuff coming to Hearthstone. Just had the announcement for patch 24.6. We had the announcement stream on Twitch and YouTube, and there's just an absolute ton of new stuff coming to Hearthstone. And the point of this video is to just go over all the important bits, because there's a lot of information, some of it a little bit more confusing than others, just to go over it, simplify it, and see what's coming. First, nice and easy, new expansion is coming December 6th. It is March of the Lich King. So it's going to be, I believe, 145 new cards, 10 more than the traditional 135 new cards, which is interesting. We'll get maybe into a little bit more why that's the case in a second. We already actually have released just today 21 new cards, including one that you can get immediately when you log in at any point, and that is called the Sunwell. We're going to go over and we're going to review all these cards in other videos, so I won't get too much into this right now, but stay tuned for review videos coming on all the new cards very, very soon. Alongside the new expansion, we have two new keywords, or rather one new keyword and one new tribe. So we get the Undead tribe, which makes sense with the Lich King returning. And we also get the new keyword called Mana Thirst. Mana Thirst is super easy, very easy to understand. It's just a Mana Thirst with brackets and a number, and that number is simply the amount of mana crystals you have. So if it says Mana Thirst 5, you need to get 5 mana crystals for that effect to go off. Very, very simple, straightforward. Reminds me a little bit of the old ranked spells where you get a certain amount of mana and you gain some power on the card. So that's the new keyword. Plain and simple, easy peasy. In addition to the 145 new cards, there's also another set of 49 cards in a separate bundle called Path of Arthas. And this is a little unusual, and the reason this is happening is onto our next point, and something you've probably already heard, but if you haven't, and I'm the first to tell you, new class coming to Hearthstone. We had Demon Hunter, released a while ago, and now we get another new class, and that class is Death Knight. A lot of people predicted it would be Death Knight. You see March of the Lich King as the next expansion. You're like, yeah, okay, makes sense. Death Knight is the new class. So this Path of Arthas set is 49 Death Knight cards. So it's only just a bunch of Death Knight cards. The idea is they print more of those to kind of catch it up a little bit more with the other classes. For Arena, that works great because you don't just get offered the same class cards over and over. We saw that a little bit with Demon Hunter. So it's a good idea. Makes a lot of sense. Cool. So, what's the deal with Death Knight? There's a few deals with Death Knight. There's a lot of stuff going on with Death Knight. First up, Death Knight has a 2-mana hero power that summons a 1/1 undead skeleton with charge. Charge, that's right, not rush. That dies at the end of the turn. So that's the hero power. And let's move on, because there's a few things that hero power, does for future abilities for Death Knight. And the first one is corpses. So corpses are a Death Knight specific ability, and all it is the amount of minions that have died that game. So every time a minion, a friendly minion, I might add, every time a friendly minion dies, you get 1 corpse. This includes tokens. So, for example, something like Expendable Performers could give you up to 14 corpses in Demon Hunter if you were playing it as Death Knight, because Death Knight's the only class that can actually accrue these corpses. Very, very simple. What do you do with this number? What do you do with these corpses? Well, there are going to be cards coming out very shortly that will say something like, do X, but you could spend 2 corpses to do X plus Y instead. So it's just like, spend a couple corpses if you have enough corpses to do something. So it reminds me, actually, if you've played the game Inscription, it's pretty much just bones in Inscription. If you haven't played Inscription, you should. It's a great game. But you get these bodies, and you can spend them to do stuff with particular Death Knight cards. Okay, so we can see how the hero power has nice synergy with its corpse ability, as every time you hit the button, your skeleton dies, you get another corpse, you can use those corpses to do other stuff with other cards. Cool. That's the least complicated bit with Death Knight. Next up, we have runes. So runes is also just for Death Knight at the moment, though I could see it becoming a thing with other classes because it opens up a lot of interesting deck building ideas. What the heck are runes? Okay, so runes are going to appear at the top near the mana cost of a card, and they're going to appear as just a symbol, and that symbol itself is either going to appear once, twice, or 3 times. Stay with me. So there are 3 types of runes. There are blood runes, frost runes, and unholy runes. Blood runes are going to be attached to cards that are big control tools or big minions. Think like the type of card you'd throw in a big warrior, brawl, and Rattlegore. Big, solid control cards. That's going to be under your blood rune section. There's frost runes, which those cards are going to have burst potential to do quick burst. They're going to have spell synergies, and they're going to have like mana and freeze and tricky effects like that. And then there's lastly unholy rune, which cards that have an unholy rune on them are going to have synergy with your corpses. Okay, so we've got the 3 types of runes. Not all Death Knight cards have runes. That's just some of the cards. Some of them will just be standard cards. So what does it mean if it has 1, 2, or 3 runes on it? You can only have a maximum of 3 total runes in your entire deck. So what does that mean? What do I mean by that? At the top of your deck list, you'll have 3 rune slots. You can use any combination of 3 runes, such as you could have a blood frost deck, or you could have a blood frost unholy deck, or you could have a triple unholy deck. That means that you are limited to runes that you can fit the number of rune slots on the card into your deck profile. So, for example, it sounds a little awkward, sounds a little confusing, but if you have a deck list that is a blood frost deck with those 3 rune slots, you can put a spell that has 1 blood rune. No problem. You can put a deck that has 2 blood runes because you have blood, but you can't put a spell that has 3 blood runes. You'd need a triple blood deck that would have no frost or unholy runes in it at all in order to run that. But you could run a couple 2 blood runes and a few single frost runes in that deck. So that's what's going on with runes. Opens up a whole interesting idea with deck building. If you have a blood frost unholy deck, then you can only have anything with a max of 1 runestone on it. With 1 rune on it. Very interesting, a little complex, but once you have the idea, it's not so bad. So that's very cool. Even more cool is how this works with arena drafting, which is, okay, what if you're offered, a triple blood rune card, and then later you're offered an ice rune, and what's the deal? Because normally you wouldn't be able to play both of those in the same deck. And the answer is very cool. The game will actually keep track of what rune cards you have drafted, and it will not allow you to draft a card that breaks the rules of your deck. So if first pick, you draft a triple blood rune card, you will not see a frost or unholy rune at all for the rest of your draft. Super cool. If you have a double unholy in your first pick, then you might see a single of frost or blood, but not a double of anything. And I should say, you might not see another rune. So you can see the same rune. If you get a triple blood, you can see a single blood, a double blood, all that in the future of the draft. But the draft will not let you draft a card that is not going to fit your deck with what runes you have. So super, super cool stuff there. So because there are these runes on the Death Knight cards, we've got a huge amount of Death Knight cards coming in, since you can't run all of them in the same deck. So there's going to be more core set Death Knight cards. And my guess is that's why there's more cards in the standard set, is to account for the fact that you can't actually put all of your Death Knight cards in one deck. So there's going to be more Death Knight cards in general. A couple little things that were announced that, I just want to gloss over real quick. One, legendary hero skins have been announced. So, instead of just your regular hero, you are now going to be able to have these legendary heroes that have 3D character models and are animated, which is super cool. And you can, I think it's like you have a custom hero tray or something. It's just like a beefed up hero, which is super cool. When you press an emote, it will do like a certain animation. So, I mean, BM to the max with these new legendary hero skins. That's pretty cool. Those are coming out very soon. A new type of card. Don't read into that too much. It's a signature cards are coming. And all that means, when you might have heard people say signature cards and be like, what the heck does that mean? All that means is you cannot craft the card. You have to open it in a pack or get it through an event. It is not something that you can enchant or disenchant. It's just like event cards / they have to be opened in packs. So those are signature cards. You can also get signature packs, which have an increased chance of getting those signature cards that you can't craft. And signature packs also have an increased chance to just get legendary minions. With the release of patch 24.6, we have the start of the Knights of Hallows End event. That goes from the day of release, so November 1st, for 2 weeks. And that also segues into the next little point. We have a new event system. So instead of getting legendary quests and having those pop up in your main quest line, you'll actually have a part of your journal that has a special little icon that's event related that you click on, and it brings you to an event page that has its own section for event quests. So your regular quests are not going to have the legendary slot anymore. You're just going to have a whole other page that you go to earn these event quests to get special event points. And as you earn more of those, you unlock some prizes over the course of that event. Very cool, very simple, but also good to know in case you're wondering why your chain of quests hasn't started and you can't find it in your journal. It's under a different tab that is event tabs. So cool stuff there. Yet another new thing, small point, easy to say, but it's important because there's so much information here that I don't want you to miss anything. Dual tribe minions are also coming with the new expansion. That's as easy as it sounds. There are minions that have multiple tribes. Think amalgams, but with 2 particular tribes. So I believe one example, perhaps from the reveal, didn't actually see it myself, I was streaming at the time, but was Cookie the Cook would be a Murloc and a Pirate, so you'd have 2 tags on there. That's going to open up a whole bunch of different synergies in deck building, and it is coming in December, so very cool. For those standard players out there, you've probably already noticed this, but our last small point of all these new things is as well, with the launch of 24.6, right now, as of right this second, Blizzard has introduced Knights of the Frozen Throne, yes, the original Knights of the Frozen Throne, back into Standard. So all of a sudden, boom, Knights of the Frozen Throne is in there. You've got all those Death Knights that have been gone for so long back in Standard, and the best part is it's all free. So you'll have in your collection all the Knights of the Frozen Throne cards for a temporary time. So, if you enjoy Standard and you enjoy Death Knights, get in there and slam all those for free. The last thing we're going to cover here after all that, for all the Arena fans out there, Dual Class Arena has returned. If you don't know what Dual Class Arena is, it's my personal favorite time of year, where you get to pick 2 classes in the arena. You pick your main body, and then you pick a different class's hero power. Your draft is a combination of both class cards from both classes and neutrals as well. It's super fun. It's back for not just the 2 weeks of the event, but until the next expansion, which is super cool. So we got a lot of that coming. And another interesting thing is it's old school. It's old sets. So we have no Nathria. We have no new cards. Not even the brand new Sunwell is in Arena. It's all old stuff. No core set. It's classic, basic, and then all the oldest sets up until League of Explorers. So that's pretty cool. I've been enjoying the change. There's a lot less cards that just seem to win the game on their own, which I'm a fan of. Perhaps, people might get bored of it thinking it's just low power after a little time. I'm currently loving it so far in its beginning stages. A good thing to know, it's pretty straightforward, Dual Class Arena, but there is one thing if you're thinking about drafting dual class with Demon Hunter, be careful because Demon Hunter in those sets has 0 cards. So there will be 0 cards in the Demon Hunter pool. You will not get offered any in your draft. And also, when you play cards like Burgle or Nefarian against a Demon Hunter main body, you will get nothing. You will get 0 because there are no Demon Hunter cards. So be careful with that. It's not something that the team is able to change. So it's just going to be that way. Demon Hunter is the main body. Don't do it. If you just want the 1 mana hero power, fine. A little boring, to be honest. But you can do that. Just know that you're not going to get any Demon Hunter cards. I believe I have covered just about everything. Crazy stuff going on, so much new stuff, and this isn't even touching multiple game modes that have also seen a lot of changes, so pretty insane. If you got any questions about any of the details on the new Death Knight or any other part of these patch notes, please ask me in the comments below, and I will get back to you. If I've missed anything, oh my goodness, is it possible? Of course. Let me know. I think I've covered all the important bits here. If I missed anything, again, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Happy dual classing. And I will see you in the next video, probably for the March of the Lich King first card review. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. It helps me out a great deal. See you next time.
My name is Judge.
Whose name is Judge?
My name is.
Whose name is Judge?
My name is
That's a silly name.
Judge.
Okay, that's